Back to Beccas By The Bay. I'm by your South Texas soaper. And I know I made a couple of videos yesterday of some liquid shampoo. And I'm going to get to that later in the next video. And I tried out the shampoo and I like it. I'm going to make some changes. And then, so this one is the first one that we're making. It's very similar to a recipe in the Making Natural Liquid Soaps by Failor. This was a book I got used on Amazon, I think for $5. Her last name is Failor, and it's a really good book. And one thing when you're formulating your recipes, especially if you're going to be doing a dual lye like I'm doing today, you're going to use Soapy Lye Calculator, which is SOAPEE. It's different from Soap Calc. And you can change things around a little bit. You can choose the KOH, NOH percentages. You can, there's, that'd probably be another video, but you can choose different things. So we're doing a 40% NaOH and a 60% KOH dual lye bubble bath. And the two ingredients are, our main ingredients are canola oil, which is very high in oleic acid, and organic coconut oil. That's it. So what we're going to be doing is making a gorgeous Cleopatra's bubble bath with the cane sugar is going to help thicken it and give you the extra bubbles. The salt is going to thicken it. We're going to use agar, our natural seaweed botanical, as a thickener. There's citric acid as a natural preservative and as a thickener. You can use 1 to 2 teaspoons per pound of oils. I haven't tried more than 2 teaspoons, so you're welcome to try up to a tablespoon, I guess. We're going to be using borax as a natural preservative and a natural thickener. We're adding glycerin that will help thicken it. So glycerin will be part of our water, and that will help thicken it as well. I'm going to be using 5 ounces of glycerin just because I accidentally measured more than 4 ounces. So we're going to go with 5 today. So, and then I want to make sure I don't dilute this too much. So I'm going to be diluting it at 50% first. So I only need 10 ounces of distilled water to dilute this 16-ounce recipe. If it's going to be a 40% dilution, if I need to dilute it more, it would be 20 ounces. So I'm going to double the water. That, I think, is pretty much it for me adding goat milk and buttermilk. And, yeah, just goat milk and buttermilk today. I used the coconut milk in the shampoo. That's what it was. So we're going to get our gloves on and our goggles. And that cool front came and hit us. We've got rain and it's 50 degrees outside and it feels awesome. So we've got slippers on in the house. Feels good. All right. Grab one more thing so I can check my clarity. Got my glass. We've got goggles and we're hot. I'm going to turn this down to low. So then here is my distilled water. I'll show you guys. I wish I had a better camera set up, but I don't. This is as far as this goes. So in here is my glycerin, my dual lye, and my distilled water. And in here is just my 2 oils. And I'm using 5% cane sugar and 8% of my salt, which I'm using the iodized salt. I need a spatula. Got my spatula. There's that. Put this in. Put that in here. So I've got my sugar, my citric acid, my borax, and my salt in here. And this is 6 ounces of my my distilled water that I'm going to help rehydrate this with. So this is warmed up and set aside. And then I have my goat milk and my agar, my thickeners and my milk here. So we're gonna zip this along. If I go too fast, it's going to splash up too much and like splatter me. So I'm trying not to go too fast. Yeah, too splattered, too much, too fast. Just rinsing with cool soapy water and then drying off. So go. This is also at a, I believe, yes, a 2-to-1 lye ratio, lye water ratio. At 189, 190, so I'm hot enough to be soaping. It's actually hotter than I normally soap, but this one's tracing. I've never worked with canola in the liquid soap, so it is taking longer to trace. It's a little bit maybe light trace right now, but it's taking longer. Oh, it's very splashy, this one. Super splashy. Now the lye, if it splashes on you, even if you have clothing on, it can go through the clothing. I've had it go through the clothing before, and then you gotta take all the clothing off. So I just assume wash my arms real quick. Almost we're at trace now. That took us a little longer. See how it's sticking to the back of this? It's tracing. So we're going to start hitting the applesauce stage. Now I'm getting a little bit thicker. Well, you can see that. I'm not standing in the way. I was standing in the way. Starting to get a little more applesaucey and opaque-ish. So we're just going to keep blending on through. It went back to, it came together, and now it's going back to a applesauce stage. I noticed the liquid soaps don't go through the regular hot process steps, where hot process goes through like applesauce, mashed potato, Vaseline, and then back to something a little bit smoother. This sometimes, as I've noticed, will like applesauce, then get creamy, then opaque. It doesn't always quite get mashed potato-y, but it gets creamy and opaque, and then sometimes it goes back to applesauce, and then it comes back to being like creamy again, and then it hits the Vaseline stage. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if anyone else has noticed that. If you have, comment below if you've been making liquid soaps and that's happened to you, because I've kind of noticed that. I think my motor is getting towards the end of its lifespan. give it a break. So what I've been learning from the Ultimate Guide to Liquid Soap Making is trying to formulate my recipes so that they're made within a half an hour to an hour start to finish. A shampoo recipe definitely took me longer yesterday, and I know what happened. I'm gonna reformulate, and I think I know how to fix it, and I'll be doing another one on that later today. So, hang tight with me for another video. I do enjoy that these are made in like a day, and I'm not like having to babysit or watch or a crock pot that's on for like 2 to 3 days at a time, which makes me nervous. And it gets exhausting to come keep stirring and checking on it. This is a lot better for my shoulders and neck, personally. Alright, so it kind of had hit like the applesauce stage, and now we're getting a little bit more together here. Check my temperature because I wanted it to come down. It was just weak. It's actually higher. It's on low, and we're at 211 right now. So we actually are hotter. And I have not added any sugars yet. This is just the glycerin, the distilled water, and the oils, 2 oils. If I was in front of this before and couldn't see, I'm sorry. Make sure I'm over here off to the side so you guys can kind of see what's going on in the pot. Woo. So the best thing is like you're not wasting too many ingredients if you're trying out recipes, and you want to add like fragrance oil or essential oils. You don't do that till after your soap's completely made, diluted, and cooled down. So you're not losing like valuable ingredients testing out recipes with the liquid soaps, which is kind of cool. Now this, because it's kind of whiskey, it's whisking it just slow. Now there is cold processing liquid soaps. There's low temperature liquid soaps, which are usually made at about, I think, around 170 and less, 170, more like around 150, 160 degrees. And then there's the high temperature hot process soaps, which for liquid soaps, which are like upwards of around 220 degrees. And this is hotter than I thought it would be. Surprisingly, it's at 214. But I'm not having any issues with volcanoing. I haven't seen any aggressive volcanoes that started to come up or anything like that. hitting another applesauce stage on this one, which looks like the third applesauce phase I've hit. Oh, I did. I burned it out. Oh my gosh, look at that. I totally melted it. Alrighty, well that one's done. As far as I'm gonna have to go get me another one from the other end. To be continued. Be right back. Right. Wash this real quick. Alright, so we have this Cuisinart one. Does it just snap on and off? Okay. Press button to detach. Ah, okay, I've never had one of these. This is another soap maker gave this to me. So I just had the cheaper ones from Ross. And they do kind of burn out kind of quickly. This is a Chef Man from Ross, and they don't last too long. Maybe that one probably lasted me a year, which I guess isn't too bad. So let me see. I'm plugged in. Now what? Never used this one before. You're supposed to go like this? Ah, was that some kind of safety feature? Oh boy. Alright. Totally different stick blender here. That's low. Yeah. High, low. I don't know. That's weird. Why would it have a button on top? Okay, it says low and high. High's on the bottom. The other one I have reversed. Whole new learning curve here. Okay. That's weird. Why do you gotta hold the button? That was just awkward. Okay. Blending really well. So it's very opaque. Look at how different that looks. It was kind of almost Vaseline. I know why she had this tape down. I was wondering why there was tape on it. Now I know. Oh, wow. Okay, so this is really getting thick. I have to disconnect myself here. Whoa, oh, it is just, oh, look at that. Wow. All right, so we're going to add, we're going to have to add some water to dilute this a little bit, because I can't work with it like this. It's not going to happen. All right, so here's our salt and sugar. And it's, I believe, 6 ounces. So 6, and then here's the rest of my soap here. Water. Hopefully, oh boy, it is. This one's rock hard. Whoa, that's scary. Scary stuff. Save a little bit of water to try to check the clarity, but I can't see working with it like this. This is interesting. This one's a totally different recipe. So let's see. We can get this to rock hard. It's going to take me a little bit more water. All right, so I'm at my 10 ounces. I'm going to probably need Well, that was interesting. I cannot check the clarity on that. It's just too pasty. Too pasty. All right, let's get our 10 more ounces. Ounces on the button. Woo! All right, I'm gonna microwave that. And the reason why we're microwaving it is because it would take way too long for this to dilute down. And you can see it's Vaseline. And it would take way too long to dilute down if we could add cold water or even room temperature water. So we're going to add hot boiling water. And the quickest way to do that is to microwave it. And then you have less dishes, of course. This is very chunky. So this is not a very fluid recipe that, like the other ones I've done in the past, where they stayed fluid and diluted really quickly. I had another one that did this, and if I need to, what you can do is you can add 91% rubbing alcohol at 1 to 2 ounces per pound. And what that does is it helps dissolve the soap paste faster. It helps make a clearer soap, and then the alcohol will cook out. So I may do that here. Measure out. And then that way I'll count this as part of my water. There's 1 ounce. So let's add 1 ounce of the rubbing alcohol. And then the other thing you can do is you can turn your crock pot back on high from low at 150 right now. So we want that to be melted. And the only way to melt it faster is to turn up the heat. Which is why we haven't added any milk yet, because your milks are going to burn. Milk is the last thing you want to add because you don't want it burning. You'll have like a really dark soap, and it will have, to me, I think it would have a different, it just has a different smell. And it's just nicer when you add it at the end. Mailman? Woohoo! Mailman? Uh-oh. Mr. Sandman, bring me on. Alright, so we are just waiting for that to heat up now. I'm going to put the cover on to help it best I can, because this is so clumped onto there, I'm not able to scrape it off. We're just going to have to wait. Bring me a dream. Mr. Sandman, bring me up. Booga booga doo 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 doo. Okie dokie pokey. So we added 1 ounce of the alcohol. We had to add. Alright, see, it's softening up now a little bit. I can kind of get my spatula in there. Spatula. Break off some of this from my stick blender. Just be very careful. So what the alcohol does is it helps dissolve the paste a lot faster. And I was not expecting this one to get so pasty. Oh boy. Gonna need a bigger spoon. I'm gonna need a spoon. I gotta say, I love my sanitize option on my dishwasher. Awesome. Ooh. Really thick taffy. Alright, so I'm just gonna continue to get my paste off of my stick here. So you can put your spoon inside and try to get some of this out this way. So this is obviously not a recipe that's going to be done in probably a half an hour. Well, we'll see how long it takes. I'm trying to avoid the paste stage, but I liked her formulation as far as like and I changed it a little bit so that the numbers looked a little bit more of what I thought they'd be in line with for a bubble bath. I'm going to set that aside in my dish here. I'm just going to keep trying to break this up a little bit more. And the alcohol really does help. Then it cooks off, so you don't have to worry about alcohol being in your product. I haven't even checked the clarity yet because it went so pasty so fast. Trying to just break it up so that there's more surface area touching the water and alcohol. Add another ounce. That'll be another ounce to water dilution. So we're going to add 1 more ounce. There's just not enough movement in here, so we're going to keep really nice and clear. Like if you were going for transparent soap, this is looking almost pretty much transparent. Stuck on the bottom too, so I'm trying to get it off the bottom as well. Go. We got it moving now. Alright, so we're going to just have to wait on this to keep diluting. Heating up our paste and our water. So I'm still at my, pretty much like at my 50% dilution. I've got 10 ounces. I do have extra 2 ounces with the rubbing alcohol, but that's going to cook off slightly. So I don't want to add more than that right now. So I don't want this to be too thin. So we're just going to put the cover back on. And that should help get this moving and grooving a little faster. Let's check the clarity. That's weird. Don't like this one got super pasty, but it seems to be breaking up okay. Stir it around a little bit more. Now it's got a chance to warm up a little bit. Still at 157, so it's still pretty low temperature. It needs a little bit more time to get a little bit hotter to dilute this down. Just going to keep checking it and stirring it so nothing like bubbles up and over. Feel like a chunk on the bottom. Started this at what, like 10 minutes to 10, so we're 40 minutes into the cook, which is not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to try getting the paste off of this now. There's some floating about on it. I'm just going to stir it around. Once it's a little more fluid, it's not there yet. You can zip stick this again to help try to break up the clumps. It's still pretty thick right now, so I'm going to keep on stirring. Hoping to get the paste off of it. That came off pretty good. Get a tiny bit of water. I gotta have some more water over here. Alright, so I'm going to see if I can check the clarity and the pH, even though this is not fully dissolved. It looks like it's fully soap, so there's enough soap in my liquid here. Let's see where we're at. So we're gonna put some soap and some hot distilled water. Stir it up. Sprayer. bubbles down with some rubbing alcohol. Check it. I can see clearly through. And I'm going to get my pH strip. I want to chew. I keep thinking I'm grabbing two of them. So again, we're at 7, like a low end of 7. That looks good to me. So that's good. And we're going to put this back in here. Don't like this pasty stage because it seems like a pain to dilute. I guess if I left it alone, it would probably be fine. But I'm so impatient. Totally impatient. Softening up. Don't want to add any more liquid if I don't have to. And that, God bless you. You know, if you have, God bless you. If you have a film on top after it's fully diluted, then you know you need to add a little bit more water because the film means that that soap wasn't fully diluted enough, and it will start forming this kind of a pasty crust on top, and you don't want that. And I don't know how thick it is because I still have all this paste that needs to get diluted before we try to add. So the thickeners that are in here right now are the citric acid, the boric acid, the salt, and the sugar. I have not added the agar yet. That's this agar seaweed powder. So we're about 50 minutes into the cook. I'm trying to get this diluted so it's one consistent solution. And this one was like crystal clear when I did it in here. So I was really excited about that. And that's what you really want is you're looking for a crystal clear liquid soap. I know I add milk to mine and it's going to inhibit the clearness and clarity, but you want your soap to be probably clear to start with. But if you're going to add colors and have your soap look, just clear and pretty, you're going to want a very clear, translucent soap. These are two good oils that are make that happen. Is your coconut and your canola. Getting there, we're getting there. Let's see a few big chunky chunks in here going on. Thinking it's loose enough to zip stick a little bit. So put this in. Slap that on. And get my goggles. Or how would you do that with one hand? You can't. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy at the same time. It's weird to me. Alright. Dum, 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 dum. Does that work? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I'll have some chunks, but they're a lot smaller. More powerful than my other stick. Other than the weird button on top, I like it. Still see just a couple of chunks here, but it doesn't look like they're in the soap. Looks like they're only on my stick blender. So let's get them off the stick blender. Alright, so it's very creamy. It was clear a minute ago until I just foamed it all up. So I'm gonna See if I can't stir it down and spray out some of the bubbles. Looks like a good dilution. I think it's really good. It's still going to be nice and thick when it cools down. And I still haven't added the agar yet, so a little bit more ways to go. I might leave that for about a few more minutes and see. I don't think I want to dilute it down anymore. I'm going to make a note. That was good, and I did 2 ounces of the rubbing alcohol. And then we're still waiting to add our milk. And our agar. Just gotta make sure it's stirred up good. Put it on low. We don't need it on high anymore since all the paste is all broken up. And so it should start clearing up all the, since I stirred it with my blender stick, it'll start to, it's kind of sudsy right now. So it's I'm gonna have to leave it alone for a few minutes for it to start clearing up. Make sure it's clear before I add my milk. Almost there. So I'm gonna say this is gonna probably take an hour tops, which surprises me. I'm at 44, so we're almost at an hour, and I'll probably cook. I will cook my milk an additional 10 more minutes on low, and then let it cool down. Because the agar needs to be heated up as well in order to help thicken. We're at 165, which is a good temperature. This one came out really good. I was wishing I made a bigger batch now. I'll have to make another one. And I do want to show you guys the bubbles on it. How it bubbles. So we're at 50% dilution. There was an extra 2 ounces, and there'll be probably another extra 2 ounces here. So more like a 40, almost a 45% total dilution. It'll be nice and thick and creamy. Almost there. I'm so excited for bubble bath. I'm thinking if the bubbles aren't as big as I would like them to be, or if they're not sustaining as long as I'd like them to be. So this is something you can add if your bubble bath, and I'm going to check it. We're going to see how long the bubbles last and things like that. But if you feel like your bubbles aren't lasting long enough just from this, you can add sodium lauryl sulfoacetate, and it's SULFOACETATE. This is derived from coconuts. This is not your SLS. This is SLSA, so it's not as harsh as the chemical. That one's from coconuts. It's not the chemical synthetic one. So if that's something you wanted to add to your bubble bath because you felt like the bubbles weren't as bubbly or as long lasting as you would like, you could probably add, I'm thinking at least a tablespoon per pound of oils probably to your batch, and that would probably be enough. And then you're going to put it in a bathtub, so you're not going to have, but it's going to be very minute what you actually get in there. So I'm just anxious to try this out. Come on. Walk away, come back. That's, I'm walking away from that. That's terrible. All right, we're checking it. We're checking it. We're almost there, right? I zipped it a lot, y'all. Zip, zip, zipped it a lot. That's some scary stuff. All right. Are we ready? How are we doing? Being very patient. I feel like it's forming a slight paste here going on. I might just add a little bit more water. Maybe 1 ounce. I know we're almost there. All right, I think I'm just going to add the milk. I just hoping it would have been here by now. Let's go, I'm patient. Add 1 ounce. So, 1 ounce. Come back and check it one more time. Sometimes it just takes too long to wait for. We're at 1 hour and 10 minutes into this. Doesn't look like it's forming that thick soap so much at the top like it was. And 10 plus 2. one out. Coming back. Check your hand. Lord, made to make the good times roll. Get out of the pot. See, because I think it's cooking up. Take the pot out of the crock pot. It's off. Because it's just like bubbling up. Alright, so I know it's done. I'm just waiting for it to clear up, and the bubbles from me zipping it have not cleared up because it's still too hot. It needs to cool down below 150 for this to start looking clearer. Come back. at 150. And I know it's going to start clearing up. I know it is. Just unless it's just too thick and I need to dilute it a little more. Which I need to dilute it a little bit more with my milk and my agar. Which I'm going to make sure it's heated up again. This is 2 more ounces of liquid, and that should help. And the agar is going to, the seaweed's going to help thicken this up a little bit more. It's at a really nice, this is actually really good. It's going to start getting a lot thicker when it cools off. What's the matter, Bubba? You want a phone? You go, good girl? You go, mommy. You go. Very nice. Gotta wash my hands again. Alright, so Bubba, baby Bubba, our little bull terrier German Shepherd, it's raining crazy out there right now. She just wants a bone to snack on. Spray down my bubbles. Add our milk. We're at 150. Crack that a little bit and we'll come back in a few more minutes. I got a patty. Pick up a patty. Move off some of this stuff. Just in case I need water again. I don't think I do, but I'm going to put it over here. Coffee over here. Things clean up. Well, this can get cleaned up. All of that can get cleaned up. Move this here. And over. Oh, because I put it in the dishwasher. Oh, that's right. I'm a goober. Oh. Oh. Plug in the computer. Computer. Go. Yee! Alright, still waiting. Oh.